Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana. Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana. Unnatira Vanachari. Yamunati Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Shri Radha Madhav ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. We'll start with the Mangalacharan. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guru Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swakadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shivdapadakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Gana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Tam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vidamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagannatha Gopika Kanta Radha Namastute Tapta Kanchana Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhu Evacha पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
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 So, as Prabhu mentioned, we are going to read from chapter 2, verse 56. I'm speaking French, sorry. So, yes, verse 56. Dukesh, you all have it in your phone, right? You're putting on the phone. Vinyamana Sukeshu Vikta Spara
Sukeshu vigatasvara.
Vitaraga Bhaya Krodha
Vitaraga bhaya krodha.
Stitadir Munir Uchate
Sitadir munir uchate.
Dukheshwar Anuvinyamana
Dukeshvara.
Sukheshu Vikata Spara
Sukeshu vigatasvara.
Vitaraga Bhaya Krodha
Vitaraga bhaya krodha.
Stitadir Munir Uchate
Sitadir munir uchate.
Dukheshwar Anuvignamana Sukheshu Vigata Sparaha
Sukeshu vigatasvara.
Vitaraga Bhaya Krodha
Vitaraga bhaya krodha.
Stitadir Muni Uchate.
Sitadir munir uchate.
Any of the proposals?
दुःखेष्वानुद्विग्नमना
Dukeshvara.
सुखेषु विगतस्पृह
Sukeshu vigatasvara. Vitaraga bhaya krodha.
वितवीरमुच्यते
Sitadir munir uchate.
दुख सेव अनुविघ्नमना
Dukeshvara.
सुखेषु विगतस्परा
Sukeshu vigatasvara.
वितराग भय क्रोध
Vitaraga bhaya krodha.
स्थितधीर मुनिरुच्यते
Sitadir munir uchate.
Mataji?
दुःखेषु अनुविघ्नमना
Dukeshvara.
सुखेषु विगतस्पृहा
Sukeshu vigatasvara.
वीतराग भयक्रोधा
Vitaraga bhaya krodha.
स्थिताधीर्मुनिरुच्यते
Sitadir munir uchate.
दुःखेष्व अनुविघ्नमनः
Dukeshvara.
सुखेषु विगतस्पृह
Sukeshu vigatasvara.
वीतराग भयक्रोध
Vitaraga bhaya krodha.
स्थितधीर्मुनिरुच्यते
Sitadir munir uchate.
Translation. One who is not disturbed in mind, you can repeat. One who is not disturbed in mind,
One who is not disturbed
the threefold miseries,
even amidst
or elated when there is happiness,
or elated when there is happiness,
and who is free from attachment,
and who is free from attachment,
fear and anger, is called a sage of steady mind.
is called a sage of steady mind.
Purport by Srila Prabhupada, I would request one Prabhu to start, and you can read, it's a long paragraph, but can read half of it and then Mataji can read the rest.
The word muni means one who can agitate his mind in various ways for mental speculation without coming to a factual conclusion. It is said that every muni has a different angle of vision, and unless a muni differs from other munis, he cannot be called a muni in the strict sense of the term. Na sa vrishir yasya matam na bhinnam Mahabharat Vanaparv 313.117. But a stita herein by the Lord is different from an ordinary muni. The stitadhir muni is always in Krishna consciousness, his business of creative speculation. Prashanta Nihishesha Manorathantara Strotra Ratna 43, or one who has mental speculations and has come to the conclusion that Lord Sri Krishna or Vasudeva is everything. Vasudeva Sarvamiti Sa Mahatma Sudurlava. He is called a muni fixed in mind. Such a fully Krishna conscious person is not at all disturbed by the onslaughts of manifold miseries, for he accepts all miseries as the mercy of the Lord, thinking himself only worthy of more trouble due to his past misdeeds. And he sees that his miseries, by the grace of the Lord, are minimized to the lowest.
So Mataji can read the rest. Similarly.
When he's happy, he gives credit to the Lord, thinking himself unworthy of the happiness. He realizes that it is due only to the Lord's grace that he's in such a comfortable condition and able to render better service to the Lord. And for the service of the Lord, he's always daring and active and is not influenced by attachment or aversion. Attachment means accepting things for one's own sense gratification, and detachment is the absence of such sensual attachment. But one fixed in Krishna consciousness has neither attachment nor detachment, because life is dedicated in the service of the Lord. Consequently, he is not at all when his attempts are unsuccessful. Success or no success, a Krishna conscious person is always steady in his determination.
Thank you. Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
So just so that I know, because I don't know everyone, I think Prabhu, I met you and Munish and then sorry, not Munish, Munish, Murli Madhukar Prabhu. Yes, and Prabhuji. So just to get an idea, how many of you have been coming here for the past 1 year? And recently had joined? Okay. 1 week? Okay, so just to get an idea. So I'm guessing you've been reading weekly, every week is that what you're doing?
That's what we've been doing.
Yes. So this verse that we are looking at, 2.56, is actually an answer that Lord Krishna is giving, because when we have already read in verse 53, Arjuna asked a question. Krishna mentions about like personalities, and then when he talks about a Muni, now Arjuna asks in 54, he wants to know, he asked 4 questions. Does anyone remember what are the 4 questions that he asked? So that's why I ask you, how many of you have been coming here for the past few weeks? Okay, Prema Prabhu, now you know how. You have to take care of that. How many of you are school students? School students, okay. And Grihastas? Okay, Grihasthas, great. So Prabhu, you don't face this side, you face the other way and you look at your audience, and now you know as a school teacher how you're gonna take care of them. Because if they don't remember what are the 4 questions, so then you have to make sure you quiz them every week. Okay? Yes. So the 4 questions, I'm going to read the purport, the translation that Arjuna has asked, the question that he asked. So Arjuna said, "O Krishna, what are the symptoms of one whose consciousness is thus merged in transcendence? How does he speak? What is the language? How does he sit? And how does he walk?" So number 1, what are the symptoms? Number 2, the symptoms of the one who is merged in transcendence. Number 2, how does he speak? What is the language? 3, how does he sit? And 4, how does he walk? Okay, what are the 4 questions? The symptoms,
What are the symptoms? How does
Speak.
he speak?
How does
sit,
How does he walk?
walk, right? So next week, Prabhu will quiz you on that. Make sure you remember this. So now, after verse 54, thank you, Prabhu. We see that Lord Krishna starts answering those questions. So he talks about the symptoms, and in verse 55, and now in 56, he's talking about how the person deal with different situations. Like what other things that the person do in different situations. There are key points that we is that the person is equipoised in stress, is free from fear and attachment. And in verse 57, there's also, he's talking about how the person is not unaffected by good and evil, and firmly fixed in perfect knowledge. So, what is it that we can gather from here? There are a few key points from Srila Prabhupada that we can try to grasp here. So first of all, Srila Prabhupada in his purport talks about the 3 miseries that are mentioned here. He talks about miseries that happens to those. What are the 3 material miseries? Yes, I can hear somebody saying that. Yes, Mataji.
Adibhautik, Adidaivik,
Yeah.
and
Adhyatmic, yes. So what are those 3, what do they mean? What are those kind of miseries?
birth, death.
I'm going to ask Prabhu because he's Bhakti Shastri student and he'll be in trouble for not answering.
So, what I remember, Mataji, disease,
Yes,
death,
yeah.
but
No, that's Adhyatmic. Adidevik and Adibhautik. Mataji, maybe you can help.
4 kind of miseries is death.
No, I'm talking about those 3 miseries that Srila Prabhupada mentions, the threefold. In the translation you would see threefold miseries, and then in the purport Srila Prabhupada does talk about that. So those 3 types of miseries, you did mention those in Sanskrit,
Yes.
Adhyatmik, Adidevik and Adibhautik. So Adidevik is the one where we have like calamities,
Yeah.
right? So storm, heavy rainfall, and tsunami, and all these. And Adhyatmic is when other living beings cause trouble for you. Mosquitoes, like one Prabhu who was our Shiksha Guru, is not here anymore, but I still remember he said, sometimes mother-in-law also is a could cause problem. So that was Adhyatmic, and Adi Bhautik is where our is causing problem. That would be disease and old age and all these different types of miseries. So in this type of situation, when we have all these material miseries, so what we learn is that we should be we should be able to accept those miseries. Whatever the Lord puts on our path, we should be able to accept those. So for students, those of you, for example, if you didn't do well, you failed an exam, right? So you can't be sitting and crying over it and thinking that, oh, why did this happen to me? Why? You should start working on practicing more and more so that you can get better results in the next time, right? So in our journey in this material world, when we are living, we would always have challenges, we would always come across different types of miseries. It's just that we have to switch our mindset and see how we're going to deal with those. The other point that Srila Prabhupada talks about is the importance of developing faith, right? So when we are in a situation where there is miseries, it's only our faith in Lord Krishna that would help us to get out of that kind of misery. So my question to you, because it feels like I'm the only one speaking and I can hear my own voice from the back. So I'm going to engage you also in the conversation. So how do you build faith in the Lord? So that yes, Prabhu.
By hearing about him all the time.
Hearing about him. So what would you hear that would help you to build faith in the Lord? Srimad Bhagavatam. If you would like to give more details, what in Srimad Bhagavatam when you would read would help to build faith?
The evidences.
Evidences, yes. I will pass to, yes, I am.
The many pastimes where he is being Bhakta Vatsala and is taking care of his devotees.
When he's taking care of his devotees, yes. But sometimes people will tell you, well, this is an 5-year-old book. And maybe he did that in those days. Would you be okay with that? How would you take that? Yes, Diksha, what's your thought?
I think even if it is, I think that's why they call them, like the ancient scriptures or the wisdom that comes from those ages. I think it might be in different forms now, like times change, but I feel like the main morals and values don't really change, so it's more so just looking at it from that perspective. So I think in that situation, if someone was saying that to me, I think I would validate their perspective, but then I'd move on and just say something along the lines of how what we can learn from those scriptures are still very much applicable now. Maybe not directly, but I think that's where context comes in, like the difference between literalism and contextualism. They're trying to understand the meaning behind it, so you can then try to use it in your own life.
Thank you. That was very technical. Yes, so we learn a lot from the Shastras, like Prabhu mentioned about the Bhagavatam. And Bhagavatam is not different from Lord Krishna, right? So when we read the Bhagavatam, we develop faith because there are so many evidences in the Srimad Bhagavatam that helps us in understanding and building that faith, because when, like how Ayan mentioned that how the Lord is Bhakta Vatsala, how he takes care of his devotees. There are pastimes like Jendra Moksha, there's Prahlad Maharaj, there's Dhruva Maharaj. There's so many pastimes in Bhagavatam that when we read that, that builds our faith. And then observing around us, observing the time that we had situations in our lives and how the Lord took care of that, right? I'm sure everyone has had that kind of experience, and there's so many situations that the Lord has taken care. So we should always remember those. And the other point that Prabhupada mentions is real happiness does not make one proud. So this is another lesson that we can get from it, that success should not make us proud. Success should not actually increase our ego. It should make us more grateful. So when we are successful, whether we passed an exam or we got a good promotion, we should always be thankful to the Lord, because whatever we've got is because of Him. Whether that we are knowledgeable, we remember things, we remember shlokas, we remember shastras, all these intelligence is coming from Him. And if we forget also, forgetfulness is coming from Lord Krishna only. So when we are in a situation where we got that promotion or passed an exam, we should always right away think of Lord Krishna and be grateful. There are so many things in our life that we should be grateful for, that we have. It's just that we don't take time to do that. We need to develop the habit of, the attitude of gratitude. So the time you wake up, just the fact that we woke up from the bed is already something that we have to be grateful for. And when we are getting out of the bed, the fact that our feet is working, our hands are working, we have to be grateful for that, right? And many organs in our body are actually working. Does anyone know that their heart is beating right now? Maybe we hear the heart, but do we know that the kidney is working? We don't hear that part, but it's working. So we are grateful for that. We should be able to thank the Lord for every little thing that He is making it work and successful in our life. When we drive, most of the time we start with Narsimha Arti. But then as soon as we hit that green light, we forget about Him. But think about it, even that green light that you got is because of Him. So every step, if we are able to develop that kind of gratitude, that would be successful for us. And then in the verse also there is mention about attachment. So attachment, meaning like attachment with the material things, the things that are that will keep us attached. Whatever gives us happiness can actually keep us attached in that. So the lesson is that the goal of to become emotionless and to redirect our attachment towards Krishna and devotional service. So we have so many material things around us that we could get attached with. So first of all, our family, and then maybe our house, our car. There are so many things that we can get attached to. But how do we transfer this attachment to Lord Krishna or service in Lord Krishna? Anyone could participate.
Basically, we think think of all of them as blessings from the Lord.
Blessings of the Lord. Thank you. Yes, I am.
Whatever you're doing, chant the Lord's name in your mind.
Chant the Lord's name. Thank you. How would you be using your car in the service of
Reading
Lord
books
Krishna?
of reading books of Krishna.
Reading books of Krishna. Yes, Mataji.
We can consider is everything is given by him. So if he needs like, he doesn't need anything, but if he can take those things, then we should be okay because everything is given by him. Actually.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, even like for example, our car, our house. So car, we can use that. We're all coming here to the temple, right? In Krishna's service. You can use your car to go for book distribution. You can use your house for hosting home programs, serving devotees, and doing kirtan programs at home where Lord Krishna's glories are like Lord Krishna is glorified, right? So those are how you can use. Raising a Krishna conscious family. I see one Mataji has a small child, so raising your child into Krishna consciousness, making them Krishna's devotee, that's service too. Yes, so there are so many ways. Our Lakshmi that we get from work, so we can engage that in the service. So always there's opportunities for sponsorships, there are events, and there are, I'm sure there are always, every week there's something that is needed in the center. Engage those in Krishna service, right? So there are many ways that you can serve. And for those who are students, whatever you're learning from school, eventually you can use that in Krishna service. So many of you probably are going for engineering or becoming a doctor or becoming, like you have different fields that you have chosen. But try to see where you can engage that into Krishna consciousness. So for example, I would take for myself, my background was marketing, and when I came here to Canada, we were not Krishna conscious, but we joined Krishna consciousness after coming to Canada. And in those days, like I used to work for Microsoft doing the marketing, advertising for them, plain advertising and all these like collaterals and all. And then when ISKCON Brampton was launched, when we were starting, so then I started doing the flyers for ISKCON Brampton, the newsletters, then MC, because I always used to speak in public, so doing MC, eventually class, and so I never thought when I was studying marketing that this would be something that I would use in Krishna consciousness. So similarly, whichever field you are in, try to see how can this help in Krishna consciousness or in service in the temple, or like that. There are so many ways that you can help. So yes, so when you're putting Krishna in the center of our material life, then only the attachment will go away because we are keeping him in the center. So what the last offense of the holy name is, do we remember what's the 10th offense of the holy name? Yes, Prabhu?
To maintain material attachment.
To still maintain material attachment, even after learning all this. So we are chanting and then we still maintain the attachment with all these, then it's an offense to the holy name. So we should remember that when we are chanting and also keeping Krishna in the center and always engage whatever we got into his service, then the attachment will go. Yes. And the other one, the big one, is bhaya. Right? So here, Lord Krishna says that that person, the Muni, the city Muni, is one who is free from bhaya, who's free from that fear. So we may have many things that we fear. Anyone in the room would say they are fearless? No, we have so many fears, so many things that we've, baggages that we've attached with us. And we tend to forget Krishna's hand. We tend to not see his hand on our shoulder. So just going to share my personal experience. Some of you may know and most of you may not know. I've been diagnosed for breast cancer twice. So the first time when it happened was 2010 at stage 3. And it was scary when I heard that I'm going through that. I have to go through chemo, surgery and all these things. And that fear comes into your mind, because my son at that time was only 3 years old. You can relate to that, Prabhu, when you think about your child, 3 years old, and you fear, you're scared, because am I not going to see him grow? Am I going to be there? So many things came in my mind at that time. But then, once we started going in the journey, I saw Krishna's hand in every single step. Just to give you an example, the time that I was diagnosed, my family doctor kind of didn't believe so much into it because I was young, and she said, no, in my career I've never heard somebody who has breast cancer at that age. So they kind of delayed my appointment for 3 weeks. And then somehow we were in Toronto Panorama India Festival doing a parade for ISKCON Brampton, and we are just doing book distribution. So we met one Prabhu who was in our temple, His Grace Jagannath Mishra Prabhu, you might know, he's a doctor. So Indra Prabhu is talking to him and telling him this situation. And then Prabhu said, there's Satyabhama Mataji, who is a radiologist, and she specializes in breast cancer. So we say, okay. So he said, let me call her, and actually that Mataji was also my friend at that time, but I just didn't know which doctor she was. So we called just randomly, and she said, I'm at Dundas Square. And that's where we were doing the book distribution. And she said, I can meet you in 5 minutes. So I met her, and when we talked to her and everything, she got me an appointment the very same week on Wednesday. And when the diagnosis happened and everything, I had a very aggressive cancer that was growing really fast. And everything was diagnosed within 1 week. If I had waited for 3 weeks, it would have gone in a different direction. But when I look at it, I see Krishna's hand in that. Right? So then, every single step, when I was going, I saw Krishna's hand. Even the day of my surgery, before I went into the surgery, many of you may know Kamala Mataji. She's our Shiksha Guru, and she was right there before I went into the surgery room. I remember the green door closing, but she was right there chanting, reciting the Narasimha Kavach for me. And that's how after that I don't remember. But see how Krishna is. He always sends his devotees. If he doesn't come personally, he sends his devotees. There's another situation where one day Indra Prabhu is busy working, and we were short of grocery in the house. And my mother was here helping, and she said, there's nothing we can cook, like, I don't know, I'm confused what to do, and she doesn't drive anything. And all of a sudden we get a call from Vaishnav Prabhu's Mataji, Janki Rani Mataji said, Prema Guarangi, I'm coming, I'm bringing prasadam for all of you, so no worries. How do you explain that? So we just have to have that vision and also have that open-mindedness to see that. So even in the second situation also, again, Satyabhama Mataji came into the picture and she helped. And devotees, like I personally, I don't believe in my own prayer. Because I know if I ask, he won't bother, he won't listen to me. But when devotees pray, he does miracles. So this is where when we have faith, when we see these small steps where he has helped us, then the fear it disappears. It doesn't bother us. Because before my fear was always, oh, what if it comes back? But okay if it comes back, because he took care of me last time. Right? So if we have that if we try to develop that kind of faith and we take shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord, we know that He's always going to take care of us. And then we have freedom from krodha, from anger. This is another quality that is mentioned here of Estita Muni. So when does this growth come, does this anger comes, it's when things are not going the way we want it to go. When things are not going the way we have planned, or when we have some desires that haven't been fulfilled. So then the anger starts. Then we get upset. But what happens in that situation is that we are not putting Lord Krishna in the center. We are not accepting His plan. Because I have made my own plan. My plan is perfect. Why does He have to change it? Why am I not getting that job that I want? Or why am I not getting that specific mark that I'm hankering for? But He has a plan for us. So that doesn't mean that we shouldn't make the effort. We should still make the effort. But when He has changed the plan, we sometimes have to accept that because He has a bigger plan for us. So when we have Him in the center and we are accepting the plans that He has for us, then definitely the anger part will go away. It will be taken care of. So some of the lessons that we've learned from this verse, looking at it on how we should take it. So for example, we talked about failure. When we have a failure, let's not go into depression, how a person who is not Krishna conscious would go through like depression. But let's learn how we can go through it again with full strength and full endeavor. So when we are successful, let's not bring in pride and attachment. Let's better show gratitude and humility for what the Lord has given us. When we have lost something, when we are at a loss, so let's not show fear and anxiety. Let's show our dependence on the Lord. When we are criticized by anybody, when things are not going in our way, the way that we want it, let's not show anger. Let's reflection and tolerance. And if we get any praise, we did anything nice and then we get praise for that, let's not our ego inflate. Let's see Krishna's hand and mercy in that. So, Prabhu, I think I have 15 more minutes?
Yes.
Yes. So in 15 more minutes, the plan that I had is if we could probably do one bhajan. There's a nice bhajan called Bhaja Ure Mana. So you can find it in your phone. So this bhajan is written by Govinda Das Thakur, and he repeatedly urges the mind to abandon temporary material attraction and take shelter of the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. And also in the same bhajan, he talks about fearlessness. So, and he talks about when we are taking shelter of the Lord's feet, we become fearless. So this bhajan is very deep. If you can bring that up, maybe. And I don't have the translation. Someone can read the translation and then we can start the bhajan. The bhajans that our acharyas have written are actually amazing. If we study those bhajans, all the essence that are in the book are actually in the bhajans. Translation.
Translation. O mind, just worship the lotus feet of son of Nanda, which makes one fearless. Having obtained this rare human birth, cross over this ocean of worldly existence to the association of saintly persons. Both in the day and at night, I remain sleepless, suffering the pains of the heat and cold, the wind and the rain. For a fraction of flickering happiness, I have uselessly served wicked and miserable men. What assurance of real happiness is there in all one's wealth, youthfulness, sons and family members? The life is tottering like a drop of water on a lotus petal. Therefore, you should always serve and worship the divine feet of Lord Hari. It is the desire and great longing of Govindas to engage himself in the 9 processes of bhakti, namely hearing the glories of the Lord Hari and chanting those glories, constantly remembering him and offering prayers to him, serving the Lord's lotus feet, serving the Supreme Lord as a servant, worshipping him with flowers and incense, and so forth, serving him as a friend, and completely offering the Lord one's very self.
Hare Krishna. Bhajahure mana Shri Nanda Nandana Abhaya Charana Ravindare 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 Durlabha Manava
Durlabha Manava Janama Satsange Tara Hoye Bhava Sindhu Sita Atapa Bhata Parisana Edina Jami Jari Sita Atapa Bhata Parisana Edina Jamini Jari Vipala Sevinu Kipana Durjana Vipala Sevinu Kipana Durjana Chapala Sukhalabha Nagi Chapala Sukhalabha Nagi Edhana Yovana Putra Parijana Ite Kiyache Parati Edhana Yovana Putra Parijana Ite Kiyache Parati Kamala Jala Jala Jivana Talamala Kamala Jala Jala Jivana Talamala Bhajahu Hari Pada Niti Bhajahu Hari Pada Niti Sravana Kirtana Smarana Vandana Pada Sevana Dasari Sravana Kirtana Smarana Vandana Pada Sevana Dasari Pujana Sakhi Jana Atmani Vedana Govinda Dasa Abhilasa. Govinda Dasa Abhilasa.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for today's giving me the opportunity to talk today. And maybe I don't know. We have time for questions. What's the time? Yeah. So, anyone has questions? And I have a way of doing things. When nobody asks questions, I start asking the questions. So, going once, going twice, no, nobody has questions. Okay, what was the 4 questions that,
I had a question.
Okay. I was going to ask everyone questions from, you saved them.
No, you can still ask after, that's fine. So Prabhupada mentions about daring and active. Can you, I know it's something which all of us in some way or the other are active, but when it comes to the devotional service, how we can be daring and active?
Daring in the sense that taking extra step, getting out of our comfort zone, right? So, especially when we are doing service, because sometimes we tend to stay in our comfort zone and not go out. But when we have Krishna in our life, any challenges or anything that is out of our comfort zone, Krishna would be here by our side. If we look at Hanumanji, when he had to take that leap of faith, at that time he didn't know that he could jump, because that was taken out of his memory during his childhood pastime. And only when Jambavan reminded him, then he was able to do that leap. So action has to happen, but also that getting out of our comfort zone also has to happen. So when we know that the Lord is with us, and when we take shelter of those who are senior to us, that daring path will come. So for any of us who are not able to get out of our comfort zone, then we should take shelter of those who are senior to us, like taking a mentor and taking somebody who we can be accountable to, and that person will help us to get out of that comfort zone. I hope I was able to answer your question, Prabhu.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
So I think Prabhu is okay, we okay on time? So,
Yeah, we can go like a few minutes over, that's fine. If you want to question them, by all means.
I was just trying to keep everyone engaged, so if they still remember what other 4 questions that Arjuna asked.
What are the symptoms?
Symptoms,
Language.
language,
Sit. How does he sit?
how does he sit and how does he walk? Yes, so Obstitum. And what did Krishna answer in the verse that we did today? Equipoised, yes. In happiness and distress, and what else? Fearlessness, yes.
Free from attachment.
Free from attachment, and then no anger. Yes, yes. So just remember that and see how we can imbibe that in our life, in our day-to-day life, and practice that. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Shri Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you very much again. Are you sure anyone would like to not ask any questions? Like, it's a nice verse to really reflect upon. So if there is any questions, maybe we can. Okay, thank you. So Prabhupada, thank you very much, Mother, for wonderful giving us a summary of this verse, as well as giving us your personal experience through the journey and how you were able to, as you kind of kindly mentioned, taking shelter of devotees and also getting the faith or seeing Krishna in your personal life. Hare Krishna. The next part of the program that we have is some appreciation gifts that we have for the kids who participated during our Chariot Fest a couple of weeks ago. I'm not sure if you have the list of the name. Okay, perfect. So are the kids coming? They're here, but I also wanted to, while that is something that kind of came to my mind, Mataji was mentioning about this wonderful verse about what are the characteristics of a devotee, and then there is also one more place in Bhagavad Gita where this same question comes about, and there is also this description, and one of my mentors mentioned this particular point, that just to see how they act or behave in terms of, as the verse 54 mentions about walking or sitting or acting, it's actually the behavior that we internally are cultivating. So thank you very much, Mother, again for sharing that. And next week, we made this announcement, but many of you were not here. So we're just inviting you all. Next Saturday we'll be having our program here from 1:30 onwards. And next week is a different program. When I say different, we are going to read a little bit more about the pastimes of Chida Dahi Utsav. This is a festival where we'll be, actually falls on that day, but we'll be just doing our regular program here and we'll be celebrating that. So it's a lot to do with the Lord's and His disciples and the mercy that we get from them in terms of getting closer in our services. So the same way as Mother was mentioning about we take shelter of someone who is senior to us, that is one of the examples that we'll be seeing next week. So hope all of you can join. And we'll be Haribol, can the kids come now? It's about time. Yeah. So look, so many of these kids there were two events, right? Two parts. One was the other one was Jagannath Astakam. So if you'd like, if you're from town and if you like your kid to be part, you can definitely have them join the Saturday Fun School. We have the QR code at the back for you to scan. And those, anyone here for the first time? Okay, thank you, welcome. It would be nice if you can connect to one of us as in your point of contact so that you can talk to and then connect. That way you can inquire more about what activities we do here at ISKCON Waterloo, and also use one of the QR codes at the back to kind of join our WhatsApp group. That would be one good way for you to know the upcoming events that we have. And of course, please don't leave without prasadam, which is going to be served now. Okay, so do we have the teachers here as well? All right, so we'll line kids up. The first one we have is Danish. Danish, if you can stand right here. And maybe, is it okay if Prabhu and Mother, you can hand them over the gifts? Is that all right? Okay, that's good. The next we can have Madhav lined up next to Danish.
Not here.
Madhav's brother can take on his behalf, that's fine. You'll get to come twice. Vedant is next, so I guess once would solve the problem there. Then we have Prahlad lying next to the other side. Yeah, Shubh. Okay, and then we have last one, Javel. Sorry. Okay. So thank you, wonderful kids, for all the activities you participated in. We'll get your gifts now. We can sing Hare Krishna Maha Mantra as they're receiving it. Teachers, if you like to take maybe a picture, that's fine, so that it could go on their records. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Now we have Vedant and Madhav's gift. Oh, sorry. Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Next we have Prahlad. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And then we have Shubh. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And Javel is next. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, all the wonderful teachers, for training the kids and giving the Vedic knowledge that we need to pass on to the next generations. Because first, as we read in the bhajan today, Durlabha Manava Janama Satsange. If we are getting that opportunity, it also makes sense to bring it to the next generation. So Thank you for all the wonderful parents for doing that, and also the teachers taking time to teach the kids the Vedic knowledge. Hare Krishna. We'll have prasadam prayers, and then after that we'll have Mahaprasade Govinde, Namo Brahmane Vaishnave, Salpapunnamatam Raja, Vishwashni Vajayate, Shaya Vidyaja, Jadendriya Dhaika, Jive Fede Visay Sagare, Dharmatye Jivahati, Lobo Manishu Durmati, Take Jeta Kahin